I like it, what you said very much about the Côte d'Ivoire Ghana cocoa initiative is doing. We needed to uplift the farmers, specifically the small-scale farmers of the two countries, to a better livelihood. Your activities are fantastic.
It's very true. The Côte d'Ivoire Ghana Cocoa Initiative, what we've really been focusing on is ensuring that we are able to harmonize and coordinate policies and activities between the two current member countries of the initiative. The initiative was meant for all African cocoa producers, but starting with Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana, the objective has always been to ensure that we can get a better share back to the farmers at the end of the day. And make sure that the lives of the farmers, the livelihoods of the farmers is improved. And this is very essential to the sector as a whole. There are several other things that we also focus on. You know, we are both the number one and number two exporters of raw cocoa beans in the world. In placing a lot of emphasis now on value addition of those cocoa beans so that we can bring more value into our two countries as well. And we think that this is really critical for the continent as a whole to ensure that on the continent, we begin to turn our commodities assets in the African Union commodity strategy, move away from raw material exports and push more into value addition. And I think it's very important that we have the right policy frameworks on the continent. And I think there's a lot of work that is going on.
So like you said, as a ministry or a government, we are also much concerned about improving the livelihoods of farmers. Of course, we want to increase their incomes, their sustainable incomes. And also, like you said, within Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire, developing or harnessing our production capacities in cocoa and also in rice. Together, we form about over 60% of global supply. So obviously, it's important for us as two countries to strengthen the value chains that both countries have to improve the living conditions of farmers, because that's what government is interested in, improving the lives and conditions of farmers. And trading on the AFTA platform, I think that if Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire are able to do this well, they will really serve the rest of Africa when it comes to selling cocoa and its derivatives and then other products. Also, when it comes to harmonizing of our standards, our standards must be harmonized. We must ensure that we reduce barriers to trade so that we can trade with ourselves and the rest of Africa. Everybody was excited with the coming into force of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, but it looks like we have not traded rigorously as we wanted. But of course, if we are able to harmonize our standards, reduce technical barriers to trade, improve infrastructure, I'm sure that we can trade more proactively with ourselves.
Yesterday, we had a kind of meeting with one of the major producers of chocolate in this country. He was telling us that he has so much problems to penetrate the African markets. On the other side, he has problem to penetrate to the end user market in Europe, because he can only deal with, trading companies, not with the final consumers, which is the companies that make the production. So to me, this is facilitating information. This is maybe one thing that maybe your initiative could be considered, is to facilitate exchange between the traders in the two countries at the Africa level. This would be very much critical.
I think you raise a very good point with AFTA and having several, I think there are some cases that AFTA is using in terms of commodities, and I think cocoa is a perfect example. Cocoa and its derivatives is a perfect example of a commodity that can be used to really push how AFTA is implemented on the continent.
So we need to check this model between the two countries, Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire, as a model for others to upscale it. So here we're not, even from SEA perspective, when we develop this common agro-industrial park between the two countries, we are supporting this, and we are supporting the development of value chains of cocoa and rice into those two, between the two countries. We're not only restricted only on those two countries. We have in our mind that we are going to enlarge it at ECOWAS level and at Africa level as well. Yes.